Hey guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. If you're new to this channel, we're up to episode 62 of the Great Farm Cleanup, where I grew up, and my parents lived here for 61 years. So we're in the throes of cleaning it up, and there's quite a series happening. So go and check it out. For those of you that follow along, well, I just signed off from episode 61 about 3 minutes ago for me. You've had to wait a day to see this next episode. We have to get this retro caravan out of the shed. I need to do some photos while the light's pretty good. I'm going to put it on eBay, and we still have to get a couple of things out of it, but it'd be interesting. A lot of you, when I said I was going to auction it, a lot of you suggested that it might bring more than I imagine. I don't know. I was going to maybe start it at $1,000, maybe $2,000. It's going to run as an auction, so it really doesn't matter where I start. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting journey. I will film the end of the auction too, so that will be in a future episode. But for now, I need to drag it out of the shed, clean out the last of the stuff in there, and take some photos. Let's have a quick look in here again. There was some family history stuff that a family member came up to get. It looks like there's still some boxes there, so I'll have to take them back to Nagambie, so I'll put them in the van. There's also some bedding down on that bed there we have to take back. But other than that, pretty well, we've emptied all the cupboards. All the original fittings are still in here. It's a pretty cool retro early 1970s caravan. I love the clock up there. I'm tempted to take that off, but I couldn't do that. It's got to go with the van. So we have mirrors, we have lots of cupboards, and even sort of age-appropriate curtains. We have vinyl seating for the little kitchen area that does collapse down into a bed. So, all right, what'll I do first? I think I'll try and tow it out, actually. Need to get some photos done before the sun goes down. Okay, I managed to get it hooked up to the ute okay. The jockey wheel was pretty stiff, but once I started turning it, it was okay. I don't know when the caravan was last moved, but the wheels still have air in them, so that's good. Or at least the tyres have air in them. I'll have to get that brick out of there, and there's one the other side as well. Oh, there's a bit of pressure on this one. That's got it. Well, there she goes. She's out of the shed in the first time for quite a few years, I would imagine. I'm pleased the tyres are still up. It actually looks pretty cool, doesn't it? I reckon I'll take it up near the shed and just give it a bit of a pressure wash just to blow the cobwebs off it, get the dust off the windows. I'm not going to hit it too hard, but it'll just make it a little bit more presentable for the pictures. And the back of it, yeah, very dusty. So, Viscount Royal, what a beauty. So yeah, it actually looks much better out than what it did in the shed. So we'll give it a bit of a wash up, then we'll do some photos. Okay, Ross put that speed hump in exactly the wrong spot, but anyway, that's fine. I will start up the pressure washer. Okay, how's that look? That looks $1 million. Geez, I can't believe it's the same caravan. Looks awesome. I didn't go to too much trouble washing it, particularly because I think it leaks in from the top, but I don't know how good any of the window seals are, so I didn't want to pressure wash them too much. so the windows are still quite dirty. A couple of them I notice have some cracks in the corners. But really, presentation-wise, that looks fantastic. I'm going to do some photos now. The sun's just gone down, but there's still quite a bit of ambient light around, so good photo conditions. Don't get any shadows. Yeah, awesome. Nice and straight, a few little scrapes, but nice and original. Be interesting to see how the auction goes. Okay, I've finished my photo shoot. It's a bit dark to take photos inside now, so I will empty the rest of the stuff, and nice and early in the morning when the light's fairly bright, but hopefully not sunny. Hopefully it's overcast. I think the forecast is that it's partly cloudy, so I'll just have to pick the parts that are cloudy, and we'll get some shots inside once I finish cleaning it up, and I will certainly let you guys know when it's on Facebook so you can follow it. And I will film the end of the auction. It could be quite interesting what the thing makes. I will probably put it on next week and allowing for a 10-day auction, and we will hopefully arrange for someone to pick it up when I'm home the first week in October, in about 4 weeks' time. Whoa, look at our empty shed. Well, half empty. So I don't want to put the caravan back in here. It's a very tight squeeze, but I do need to keep it out of the weather, so we might, actually it might fit in this bay better, because the roof's high enough and I can guide down the wall. So yeah, we might try that. Otherwise, maybe one of the other machinery sheds that's a little bit higher, and then it can stay there until hopefully, well, it will be sold, because I'm going to start it cheap enough that it can't not get bids, and it's just a matter of how high it goes. Then not much to go in this shed. This is the trailer that I think I've sold. One of the guys that was here this morning wants me to let him know when I'm back next, which, as I said, will be the first week in October. And I will have finished using it by then. So I just said $100. It's a homemade trailer. It's pretty rough. It's got quite a bit of rust in it, but he was keen to rebuild it. So that will be great. And the Greenfield Ride-On sold. So really not much to go over here, but we'll probably won't get a chance this trip. That might be something for next trip. It's the next morning. In fact, it's about halfway through. It's about 10:30. I have to get my act into gear. Got a lot to do, and I hope to leave about noon. It's been raining. There was a heavy shower overnight with a little bit of thunder. Don't think it was enough to cause the caravan to leak, but I have put it away this morning. I've done all my photos, and it went in that bay a bit easier than the other one. So I was going to leave the ute hooked up to it, but we may need the ute next time we're here, and someone who buys it can just hook up to it there and tow it away. So happy to get that done. I'll organise the eBay listing when I get home. I've been frantically packing the van this morning in between showers. That hasn't been too bad. Had a couple more interruptions with people coming out, but pretty much we're right to go now. I've rounded up some pot plants. There's a lot more to get yet. And the van is going okay. It's a bit hard to get a good load when you just have lots of awkward boxes, but we're going all right. I've got all the linen out of the caravan up the top. So I think the next stage is to get this gardening bench, or potting bench, which Mum wants over at a new place. So I'll get that in. It will just fit across the van, and then I can stack pot plants underneath it, and that will pretty well take the load right to the back of the van. Then I can just top up on top with whatever, maybe even a couple of these empty shelf units. They're nice and light. So that's what I've got to do now. I'm, as I said, I've only got about an hour and a half or so to go. I better not talk too long here. I'll get back to work, and I'll give you a quick update before we leave. It's right on noon, just about ready to go, so my timing's pretty good. Every time I leave here, it looks like I'm a mobile nursery. There's so many pot plants in the back. The pot plant stand was actually handy because it gave me 2 levels. So it's pretty full again. I'm going to close the left-hand door and just sort of wedge a mattress in so nothing falls off. There won't be much of a gap to the doors. Then I'll close the other one, watch the walls bulge a bit, and that's a satisfying load. Even got the regulation pot plants along the front section. I still have to get a couple of things from inside, but we're pretty well ready to hit the road. I've backed the ute in here, so it'll be right under cover until we're here next. Let's have a quick recap of what we've achieved. Unfortunately, I didn't get anything out of the sheds over there. Oh, one door, that's all. But we did move a lot of stuff from in here, a lot of free stuff, and I've added a bit more since, so that's been very successful. I did get into the workshop last night, and it's really opening out now. Basically just some drums of scrap. There's still a little bit of stuff in the middle there, and the wall mount drill there, which I'll have to ask Ross about because it is fixed, so technically it's his, but I was going to take it. I better check. But the rest of it, there's a few empty crates left, not many, we filled most of them, and there's bags of rubbish at the back. So the only thing I didn't get to the shed, which I may have promised a few episodes ago, was would go through that white cupboard. There's still stuff in there, but that'll have to be next time. But I'm pretty happy to really, I've emptied the safe too. There was stuff in the safe. The filing cabinet had a few books in, so that's all done. Very happy to get that much done in here. It kind of wasn't on my plan. And also, as I had mentioned, I didn't expect to get quite so much done in Mum's shed, given that it only really had a day and a half or so here. And that a lot of time was taken out dealing with people coming to pick up stuff. But yeah, we got a good job done in here too, I think. It won't take long to clean up just this wall down the left. And I will be putting some of those things on Facebook, as I mentioned, for next time I'm home. It's funny how I still call it home. I haven't lived here since the early 80s when I went off to college. And of course, well, you know, Mum and Dad were here until recently, but we haven't even owned the property for a few years. So yeah, I guess it'll always be home. Anyway, it's been a great trip, a quick trip, a tiring trip, lots done, lots achieved. I will be putting the caravan on eBay next week, and I will post a link on my community tab if you want to follow the auction. I will film the end of it too, so that'll probably be the next episode. I've taken photos of a few other things around the place that I'm going to put on Facebook, like the furniture I set in there. So we'll use Facebook for that sort of stuff where I can, you know, I know a price. The caravan though is a different kettle of fish. I don't know what it's going to make. There was a couple of other things. Oh, the old stock crate round the other side that had been converted into a hothouse. I've done some photos and measurements of that as well, so we might try and sell that, and hopefully someone can pick that up next trip as well. So there we go. I better make a coffee, better hit the road. Thanks for watching this episode and this trip. We usually try and get a video out each day while I'm here. Next trip, as I keep saying, will be in about 4 weeks. But before we get to that time, Christine and I are going off to the Table Tennis Nationals in Tasmania. We will no doubt do a bit of general filming for you guys and share the success or not so much success at the actual championships. So thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Bye for now.